Hey guys, Enders here, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be updating my best weapon setups guide for Battlefield 2042. There have been a lot of new weapons added to the game, and some balance changes have gone through that has changed some things around a bit, so we have a lot to talk about. And this is going to be a long video, so I don't want to spend too much time blabbering. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I post videos regularly, and I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. First link in the description. Would love to see some of you guys come through there. And join the Discord. That link is also in the description, as well as my Twitter. So, first thing I want to talk about is the sidearm category. A lot of the sidearms got a secret change in the most recent patch, or the most recent patch before that, if that makes sense. Some of them now have a 2x headshot multiplier, and are now actually directly better than some of these submachine guns. And the Glock is not an exception. The Glock is absolutely the best sidearm in the entire game right now over everything. It is a pocket AC-42. It can one burst you in the head without hitting all of the bullets in its 3-round burst. It is literally broken. So, naturally, we're going to give you the best sidearm setup first. Tactical compensator, laser sight, and combat drum magazine here. It is definitely the best sidearm in the game, and use it in 3-round burst mode. The hipfire is insane. You can move at full speed without barely any penalty. It's fantastic. Moving on, MP28, decent sidearm, tactical compensator, laser sight, and you're going to want to use the standard issue drum magazine. Magnum, pretty straightforward, big revolver. The only thing to talk about here is make sure you have high power equipped instead of armor piercing, or else you'll be basically just nerfing yourself unless you're shooting at like a tank or something. This thing can two-shot you out to 100 meters. P51. This weapon does not have a 2x headshot multiplier. I think it has a 1.25, but I could be completely wrong. Either way, it's not as strong as the other sidearms, but it is basically a pocket submachine gun. Not quite as good as the Glock, but it is fairly good. Tactical compensator, laser sight, standard issue, or if you want to take yourself completely off the radar, use suppressor and subsonic. NVK P125, this is the brand new sidearm added in Season 3. It's very strange. It has a 2-round burst function that is actually quite powerful, but it does not have the same ammo capacity or the same reliability and feel as the Glock. So I'm going to put the Glock above that still. Multiple different ways to run this. If you're not planning on using subsonic or suppressor, use factory barrel and standard issue extended with laser sight. You want to use a suppressor, just use the suppressor and then run subsonic, or you can just use standard issue extended with it if you don't really care about removing your hit markers. Pretty straightforward with the 1911. If you want to use the suppressor, use it. If you don't, but use the tactical light just because it irritates people, and obviously you want to do that. Moving on to the Rex. The Rex saw a substantial buff, and there is quite literally nothing to talk about here because there are no different attachments. Thank you, DICE. You guys really work hard over there at DICE Sweden. Now, the SMGs. SMGs saw their headshot multiplier reduced to 1.25, which is absolutely too low. So the submachine guns are definitely weaker than they used to be, and some of them are actually outdamaged by the Glock completely, which is funny. Now, something I want to talk about here up front, and this will apply to every single weapon that offers this attachment. They kind of quietly added new laser sights to the game. These new laser sights offer a different sort of benefit than the original laser sight. It offers a worse hipfire benefit than the original laser, but it also basically helps you control recoil. And the only downside is it's detectable, which I don't find that to be really a big deal whatsoever. So if you want to run pure hipfire, use the original laser sight. If you want a more versatile weapon, use the MGL laser sight or the new laser sights. You are going to have to unlock these by getting hipfire kills with the weapon you want. Now, tactical compensator, new laser sight on the PBX, and standard issue extended mag. That is what I use. PP Bison does not have an underbarrel, unfortunately. Tactical compensator and high power / standard issue. Both of these are fantastic. Or if you want to run wrap suppressor subsonic, that is also a pretty effective setup. MP9, poor MP9. This thing got pretty nerfed. I did not think the second nerf was necessary on this at all, and unfortunately it's a lot worse than it used to be. Tactical compensator, laser sight, close combat drum. Actually, tactical compensator, MGL laser sight, excuse me. You're going to want to run that. Same thing with the K30. I don't use the K30 that much because I'm not basically trash at the game. MGL laser sight, tactical compensator, standard issue drum magazine. P90, flash suppressor, reflex, laser sight. Pretty straightforward with the P90 there. And the AKS. The AKS saw a buff. It's a little better now, but I would still put it bottom tier in the SMG category. Heavy barrel, laser sight. Heavy barrel, increasing vertical recoil really doesn't matter that much because this gun does not have much recoil at all, and I do feel the benefit from using that. Moving on to the AR category. The AR category, in my opinion, definitely the most versatile category in the entire game. It's just hard to beat some of these guns, especially one gun we are going to talk about coming up here in a second. If you're enjoying the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I just published a Discord subscription service for the people that enjoy my Discord. We'll be doing exclusive movie nights, giveaways, all that sort of stuff. I plan on doing a Christmas giveaway for Discord members only. So if you're interested in that, it's in my Discord. And it also helps me if you want to do that as well. Shortened barrel. Shortened barrel increases the rate of fire while reducing the projectile velocity. It is by far the best attachment on the M5. Basically just directly increases the TTK of this gun. It makes it directly better. I like using either the LWG grip or the BCG light grip, but you can make an argument for the new laser sight as well. I'm going to leave this to personal preference. I think the gun is accurate to where you don't have to run a grip if you don't want to, but it does benefit from it if you want to. Use standard issue extended as your primary ammo type here, and close combat and high power as the other two. AK-24, tactical compensator, and I actually use the new laser sight on this. I don't feel that the AK needs a grip, but if you wanted to use one, I would use the LWG/BCG light grip. And of course the ammo types: standard issue extended, standard issue drum rather, standard issue extended, and high power extended. The Scar has been nerfed, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It doesn't matter. It's still probably one of the best guns in the entire game. Tactical compensator. Fill out your grenade launcher attachments here. I use armor piercing and incendiary. You can use, whatever you want. Smoke, incendiary first, whatever you want. And high power drum magazine, high power, and then standard issue. This skin is something interesting. It is the Pacifier legendary weapon skin, and as you can see, it provides a different red dot sight as I cycle through these, and I like it better than the other ones. So you might not be able to get it anymore, but that's just a quick tip for people that do have it. And on to the star of the show, the AC-42. AC-42 was buffed in the most recent patch, and it was already one of the best ARs in the entire game. Now, it is definitely the best AR in the entire game, by far. This thing insta-kills you from almost any distance. It is incredibly strong. I actually run wrap suppressor on this gun. I don't feel that the bullet velocity is impacted that much to where I shouldn't use it, and I don't feel like the tactical compensator provides me any sort of accuracy bonus. So I run wrap suppressor, new laser sight with grenade launcher underbarrels, and standard issue extended, then standard issue, and then high power. You can run wrap suppressor high power if you really want to make people mad, but I like the extra ammo capacity from the standard issue extended. This gun is, quite frankly, broken. And for you controller players, controller, if you didn't know, gets less recoil. And I'm not saying that to be like a big meanie. It's established fact, and I'll link the website that actually tested it. I've tested it personally. This weapon on controller with less recoil is basically hacks. And if you don't believe me, use it yourself. It is insane. Anyway, AM40. AM40 used to be trash, but then they fixed the headshot multiplier, and now it is actually slightly better than the M5 in close quarters. Slightly-ish. Now, tactical compensator, new laser sight, standard issue drum mag, I think is the best way to run this weapon. It's just a fast-killing, good weapon. Can't go wrong. M16. They did change the M16 around as well as some of the other BF3 weapons. M16 is decent now. I would use the heavy barrel and the laser sight. Unfortunately, the MGL is now destroyed by Irish APS, so it's not really that great anymore. So I would just use heavy barrel, laser sight, or if you can't handle the recoil of heavy barrel, laser sight, you can use heavy barrel foregrip or, flash shatter foregrip, whatever you want. Either way, it doesn't make that much of a difference with the M16. ECWR. This is, in my opinion, the worst AR in the entire game. It is terrible. But if you want to use it, Flash suppressor, laser sight, has no recoil, so I don't really see the reason to use the foregrip. And actually, excuse me, heavy barrel laser sight, because they fixed the heavy barrel, which was previously bugged on this weapon. So heavy barrel laser sight. Now on to the brand new AR that was just added in Season 3, the AN91. AN91, I think it's pretty good. You know, it's an all right weapon all around. Heavy barrel, foregrip, or you can run heavy barrel laser sights. I like heavy barrel foregrip just because it makes the weapon super stable. It's a laser beam. Now moving on to the other assault rifle category that have 200 bullets, because there's basically no difference between the assault rifles and the LMGs functionally. LMG category. LCMG, gonna run short barrel, LWG grip, or BCG grip, or you can run the new laser sight or grenade launcher. It basically doesn't matter. This gun kills you so fast from so many distances, it's insane. Use standard issue extended. It still has the best TTK, even though high power extended is a thing, and even close combat extended. So yeah, standard issue extended. Use that. PKP. Good God, this weapon is terrible. This is actually the only weapon in the entire video that I'll recommend you use this. Use the Arcom Tactical Muzzle Brake, which decreases horizontal recoil, and use high power extended. Now, the Avances. They nerfed the Avances, but guess what, guys? It doesn't matter. It's still insane. Use the Tactical Compensator and the new laser sight with standard issue extended. It is still unbelievable. The M60. The M60 saw the same nerf the Scar did, actually, the exact same nerf. You're just going to want to use the flash suppressor and laser sight. Make sure you're using the extended mag because there's no reason not to use it. And the newly added LMG, this thing has 0 recoil, plays like an AR, and there's basically 0 ways to customize this. So there it is, guys. There it is. Use the XM8. Moving on to the Marksman rifles. DM7. DM7, I don't like it, guys. It's not that good. But if you want to use it, you can use factory barrel. And I would use a grip here that increases your accuracy. It does suffer from some pretty severe spread. Use BCG light grip, factory barrel. You can try to use it with tactical compensator, but the recoil is fairly harsh. I will say that. So if you're pretty good at controlling recoil, you can use the tactical compensator, but I will say it feels pretty bad. Now, forget about all the things that I told you about the DM7, because here's the directly better version of the DM7 that is literally right here. It's called the SVK. It is, quite frankly, broken, and I can't believe more people don't use this. Use short barrel, and you can use the new laser sight, or you can use a grenade launcher. That is what I would use. So short barrel, new laser sight. Actually, I need to unlock that. Standard issue extended. 16 rounds of two-shotting people in the body out to 100 meters. Okay? You thought the RSC in Battlefield 1 was overpowered? The SVK is an RSC on Liver King level steroids, okay? Now, the VCAR. Don't sleep on the VCAR, okay? It's actually good. Use tactical compensator and BCG grip or LWG. You can try to use the new laser sights, but I feel like this weapon also suffers from the same spread that the DM7 suffers from. You can try to run shortened barrel, but I don't find that I gain a consistent enough benefit from it because you're not always going to click at max fire rate. Use the close combat drum. Standard issue obviously makes the damage model a little better, but the magazine capacity is pretty depressing. So I would just kind of mediate your choice between that and the BSVM. We all know this weapon very well. It's still completely overpowered, so don't worry. Short barrel, high power extended, LWG or BCG grip. It's just disgusting. That's all I have to say. And I would recommend using a grip over a laser sight with this weapon because the only nerf they did to this thing was like nerf its damage model, I think, and then its accuracy. The accuracy nerf you can kind of feel, so I would use a grip. Now, moving on to the snipers. RIP the SWS because of its one-shot body shot range being taken away. You can use this thing in a multiple in multiple setups, but I would use it in the more long-range configuration because the close quarters configuration was basically taken out of the game for it. Use the extended barrel, laser sight, standard issue extended, pretty straightforward with that. DXR, long barrel, standard issue extended. NTW 50. This thing does a ton of damage to vehicles. A ton. They made the anti-material high power mean something. So if you hate vehicles, shoot at it with the NTW 50 now. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Not much customization here. Ball Magnum. Literally nothing to talk about. Thanks, Dice. The MCS 880. This thing is kind of weird because it was just made obsolete by a weapon they just put in the game. Use factory barrel, laser sight, and number 4 buckshot. Or flechette. Government 4570. This thing no longer one-shots. Do not use it. Do not use this gun. I repeat, do not use this gun. It is trash. With that being said, if you hate yourself, tactical compensator, laser sight, high power. 12M. This thing is broken. Short barrel. New laser sight. Buckshot drum. It's just broken. Ghostmaker R10. Not much to talk about here. Laser sight. Don't have yet. And standard bolt. And on to the star of the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Rorsch Mark IV. This thing is hilarious. It is by far, and I mean by a country mile, the best long-range sniper ever put in a Battlefield game, ever. It has no drop from any range. It will always one-shot kill in the head from any range. So if you like sniping, this is going to be your wet dream. Use the 6X if you snipe. Keep a variable zoom optic up here. No attachments for the ammo or factory barrel. It damages vehicles. And I would use the semi-auto high power capacity ammo type first in the underbarrel. Use the full auto for, obviously, closer quarter scenario. The full auto TTK on this thing is really, really solid, but you have to treat it like the Battlefield 1 bar, if you remember that weapon. Small magazine, full auto, get 1 or 2 kills, find a safe position, reload, that sort of thing. Do not waste your time in the burst capacitor. It is complete and utter abhorrent trash. And last but not least, the NVK. NVK is a semi-automatic shotgun that one-shots you. Yes, the 12M cannot one-shot you. The NVK can one-shot you. The caveat is the NVK has a substantially longer reload time. The NVK is kind of like, it's kind of like a UFC fighter that gasses out in the first round. Once you're out of ammo, you have to spend a considerable amount of time reloading this thing. But in that first sort of magazine that you run out of, or whatever you want to call it, that first pool of ammo, you can do a ridiculous amount of damage. Not much to talk about here. Use buckshot or flechette. Flechette with this thing, I cannot wait to unlock it. I hear it makes it even better. So use flechette / the buckshot, and you can use the laser sight. I would use the new laser sight probably, because it does actually have considerable recoil. And I do believe that wraps it up for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below if this video helped you. Join the Discord, and I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. Would love to see some of you guys come through there. Say hi if you're from this video. I'll see you later.